Asia Radio 104.9 FM, bringing the community together. I'm your host Indu, and अब मेरे साथ हैं पल्लवी आलूवालिया from Ahluwalia Law Offices, and she's going to answer all of your immigration live right here on Fun Asia Radio. All you have to do is just pick up the phone and call 972-235-5555.
Welcome to your weekly community service show, Your Business Matters, with Pallavi Ahluwalia of Ahluwalia Law Offices. Tune into their show between 10:30 a.m. and 11 a.m. every Wednesday on 104.9 FM and ask her all your legal questions. Ms. Ahluwalia owns and operates Ahluwalia Law Offices PC. She received her law degree in 1996 from Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas, and also has a graduate degree in English Literature and Master of Philosophy in English Literature from the University of Punjab, Chandigarh in India. Ms. Ahluwalia is also a certified mediator and has served as an appointed mediator for Collin County Courts. In addition to regularly volunteering at legal aid clinics hosted by the Legal Aid of Northwest Texas, Ms. Ahluwalia serves as a legal advisor to Chetna, a non-profit organization working on issues related to domestic violence. She also spearheaded and participated in the inaugural annual legal aid clinic that was held to benefit the underprivileged South Asian community. Ms. Ahluwalia also served on the North American South Asian Bar Association's Executive Committee and is the founding president of the South Asian Bar Association of Dallas. Her speaking engagements have included being the speaker at the National South Asian Bar Association's annual conference, speaking at the conference held by the Texas chapter of the American Immigration Lawyers Association, and a presenter to the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce activities. She has been featured in Texas Lawyer magazine for an article on law firm ethics. Ms. Ahluwalia speaks English, Hindi, Urdu and Spanish. Her office handles cases involving immigration and naturalization law, family law, business law, contract law and civil litigation. She can be contacted directly at 972-361-0606 or pallavi@yourdesilawyer.com. The content of this radio program is made available by Ahluwalia Law Offices PC for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. The transmission and receipt of information contained in this program does not form or constitute an attorney-client relationship. Anyone receiving any part of information on this radio show should not act upon the information without seeking professional legal counsel. For best results, consult an attorney in person.
And now we are ready to take your call on air, and Ms. Ahluwalia is right here with us in the studio going to answer your question on immigration or any other question that you may have. 972-235-5555 is the studio number. Good morning, Pallavi. How are you?
A wonderful morning to you, Indu. Glad to be here this Wednesday morning with Your Business Matters. We're here every Wednesday. Try to be here between 10:30 and 11. Sometimes it's just right at 11. And today we are here a bit early, and hopefully we'll get to engage with the community that has questions for us always and keeps us busy here on the airwaves. So I'm looking forward to the interaction today, and also to be able to get in varied questions that we always do get here.
Absolutely. Once again, I'll give you the studio number 972-235-5555. जल्दी से कॉल करें. तो क्या होता है पल्लवी जी कि एंड में लोग कॉल करने लगते हैं तो वक्त नहीं होता. तो I will urge everybody, if you have any question, do not wait. Just hurry and dial 972-235-5555. So in the meantime, पल्लवी जी बताएं कि क्या चल रहा है आजकल immigration world में.
Well, at this time, things are at a standstill. No major updates that are coming out. We just know on the H-1B level, the premium processing unit is dishing out cases really fast. So if you have an H-1B that you want to file an extension for or a transfer, premium processing services is what we're seeing is producing quick results. Not that many documents required right now. I guess they have a little bit of a push there because they must have a lot of cases backlogged that also belong to not only the H-1B cap cases but also other cases. So I think there is a little bit that I'm seeing a little bit a faster processing, less inquiry and less RFEs from the premium processing unit. So just an update. Let's start taking our callers, please.
Thank you for updating us, and let's see who is with us now. Good morning, you live on the air. आपका सवाल.
Hi, my question is, I am an L1B right now, and my company applied for H-1B, and it is, they applied in basically in February.
Okay.
Without a quota, the new quota.
Okay.
So my question is basically, right, and we received a receipt also basically that are we eligible to get a H1? That's what my question is.
Okay, so quick question for you. So your company, you said, applied without the quota. It applied in February before April 1st, so which means that it used an old cap number for you, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I have an H1 basically I never used. That's like what, in 2008.
Okay.
I have an old H1. I never used it. So based on that, actually, the lawyer said that they can use that number and apply it, and we got the receipt also.
Okay.
But we still didn't receive the approved petition.
Okay, so I think it may not be a good idea to get the government to adjudicate it, and so the best way would be to upgrade it to premium processing and see what the government, if they have any questions to ask or if they'll approve it. So the rule here is that you should have been cap counted in the past 6 years. So if you were the recipient of the H-1B in the 2008 quota and you applied in 2016, that was past the 6 years. However, I think the government loosely interprets that particular, rule, and people are given the H-1B without the cap and going through just the fact that you were selected once in the past 6 years. So even in the past 6 years, if you were to just say, even if it was not 2008, if you were to go back, it was in 2010, you were still part of the cap. So maybe that's the interpretation that the government used. So I would still expect them to go back and approve it, but a good way to go forward is to get it premium processed and have the government give you that approval notice in hand.
Yeah, I have one more question, ma'am. So, are we going to get the I-94 based on the L1 and the H1 period, like,
Yes, so it depends if the attorney applied for a change of status, and if they apply for a change of status and it was going to happen just quickly, as in while your L1 was still going on, then yes, you would get an I-94. If the attorney or the company applied for counselor processing, then you would not have an I-94 at the bottom, and you'll have to step out and re-enter on the H-1B to activate it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for your call. Thank you. Hey, good morning. You're live on the air. Aapka sawal.
Hi, I am on F1 visa and I have applied for my EAD card. My EAD card has not arrived yet. It is already 75 days. But in the meanwhile, I have already got a job. So I wanted to ask that can I go ahead and join the job as a unpaid intern or as a voluntary role till my EAD card arrives?
Okay, so does it show that online status shows it's been approved? Is it just lost in the mail, or is it something that's still pending?
It's pending. The online status shows case received.
Okay, and is this a STEM extension or is it the first time OPT?
First time OPT.
Yeah, you have to have it in hand before you start working. So, so if you're just going to go and observe, I don't think anybody is going to, and you're not, not gone through any I-9 verification at your employer site, then you should be okay. But otherwise, they will need the EAD to be able to authenticate your eligibility to work, even if it is as an intern or, unpaid intern or anyway. So the only part that you can do is you can show up and you can observe there without you going through the formal, formalities of being an employee or a contractor or whatever else.
I'm sorry. So, I didn't get the last part. So, should I go ahead and...
Yeah, you can't. So for any company to even have you start out there, they'll have to complete an I-9. I-9 is the employment verification that is required for any companies to start you out. And for that, they will need the EAD. So if the EAD is not there, they will be unable to. So it depends on the company where you're going to be working at, and if they can just allow you to come and observe as opposed to start working.
Okay.
All right?
And it's already 75 days. I have called USCIS and expedited my case. So,
yeah, they're supposed to take all of the 90 days. They can take up to all of the 90 days. And actually, there is a regulation that is amending the 90 days to now to 180 days. It's not been finalized. It depends on the company where you're going to be working at, and if they can just allow you to come and observe as opposed to start working.
Okay.
All right?
And it's already 75 days. I have called USCIS and expedited my case. So,
Yeah,
what?
they're supposed to take all of the 90 days. They can take up to all of the 90 days. And actually there is a regulation that is amending the 90 days to now to 180 days. It's not been finalized yet, but it's still in the works. So for right now, the 90 days still works, but later on it is going to go up to 6 months. So 180 days to the same processing.
And after the 90 days, can I go ahead and ask for a temporary EAD card from my local USCIS office?
No, they don't do that. They will record this, but yeah, by statute they would be in violation. So there has been some movement to get, a lot of these cases filed, even a class action suit against the government when they go past the 90 days. But there've been, things all over the place, all over the country, but I don't see one that is underway currently. But you may want to look that up to see if you want to join that, and that is a lawsuit against the USCIS once they go past the 90 days.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much for your call. Good morning, you're live on the air. What's your question, please?
Yeah, hi. My question is I was on H1B and 2 years of H1B is left, but before that I moved to H4 EAD. So it means my H1B will be completing in 2018. My question is if I change my mind and in 2019 I want to go back to H1B, can I do that one?
Yeah, so as long as you're not using your H1B, that is still time that is available to you to be able to use as H1B. So at the time that you become an H4 EAD, then that is a time that would be deducted from your total H1B period.
Okay, but if I go in the regular form, that in 2018 my H1B will be completed. But as I'm not using that in 2019, if I want to use, so I can use that remaining 2 years, right?
Correct.
2019.
Correct. So from the total 6 years, the total math, whatever time that you've used in another status would be deducted and then tacked on towards the end, and it would add to your H1.
All right. Okay, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for your call. Hey, good morning, you're live on the air. Your question, please. हेलो, गुड मॉर्निंग. प्लीज अपना रेडियो बंद कर दीजिए जब आप कॉल करते हैं स्टूडियो में. गुड मॉर्निंग, यू लाइव ऑन द एयर. योर क्वेश्चन प्लीज.
Hey, hello, Pallavi.
Yeah, hi, how are you?
Fine. I have a question. I work for a university, and recently my department has changed. So I'm at the same location, but there was a change in department. Question is that I have applied for H-1B renewal. Do I have to make any changes to it? And the second part is I'm waiting for adjustment of status. I'm waiting for that. So question is, do I have to do any changes to my green card application as well?
Okay, so if the H-1B was applied generally by the university and not just referring a particular department or a particular subject, then you don't have to change anything. If there is a major change in your role currently, and that means that, say for example, you were teaching math and now you've gone to computer science, and that's completely what the government doesn't have, then you will have to file an amendment on your H-1B. So even though so the requirement right now is to file an amendment if there is a location change or if there is a major change in the role that you play. So at this point, if there is a change in the role that you're playing, then yes, an amendment would be due. However, if it's the university and it's a generic application that was filed with the H-1B that just, argued you just as a professor in several subjects, then you don't have to amend. Now, that same thing goes towards what your title would be. So if you were a certain kind of a professor and now you've kind of changed that and you're teaching something else completely, then maybe a redo on the perm, but that is pretty tedious. So if you could still be covered prospectively by that same department as having a role for you even in the future, then you don't need to redo that perm.
Okay. I will be teaching the same courses. The courses do not change. But essentially the structural change where I teach in the College of Business, so I'm going to the same. I'm really in the College of Business, but in a different department. So I'm moving from management to marketing. So
Yeah, I don't think that would be a major change. Again, I don't know how your first H-1B was argued or how the perm is written out, so I'm giving this just based on what you're telling me. But I have to understand, if you were teaching business courses or management courses and that were already a part of your first H-1B, then you do not need to amend that. Okay, the amendment would be only needed if there is a major change in your role.
Okay, so same applies to the green card as well?
Correct.
Green card application?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for your call. एक बार फिर से याद दिलाती चलूं कि we are just talking to Pallavi Ahluwalia from Ahluwalia Law Offices. She's answering your question live right here at the studio. 972-355-5555 is the studio number. And if you would like to call our office, the number is 972-361-0606. Or you're welcome to visit their website, the yourdesilawyer.com. Let's see who is with us now. Good morning, you live on the air. Your question, please.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. How may I help?
Hello.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes.
आपका सवाल.
मेरा वाइफ ने 2 बार पहली बार सिटीजनशिप के लिए फेल हो गया, कब फिर देना है?
Okay, so she's applied for an N400. N400 के लिए apply किया है, and English test में she failed or civics?
Yes.
English language?
English में और रिटर्न और वो उसमें पास किए, वो कन्वर्जेशन में चले गए सब.
Okay, so did she? Is the N400 still open or it's been denied?
3 महीने हो रहा.
Okay, no. So आप ये बोल रहे हैं कि आपका जो N400 है वाइफ का, वो ऑलरेडी इस टाइम पे ओपन है, ऑफिसर ने एक और चांस दिया है उनको, या उन्होंने डिनाई कर दिया है?
ऐसा
डिनाई कर दिया है?
नहीं.
It's open still. So the officer.
दोबारा हम अप्लाई नहीं किए, वो सेकंड टाइम भी फेल हो गए कन्वर्जेशन में, कब करना है फिर?
ओके, सो खाली मुझे ये पता करना है आपसे कि ये उन्होंने जो आपके पास डिनायल नोटिस आ गया है गवर्नमेंट का, अगर डिनायल नोटिस आ गया है तो आप कभी भी अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, एज लॉन्ग एज यू आर कॉन्फिडेंट कि आपकी वाइफ जब भी इंटरव्यू में जाएंगी तो वो पास कर सकेंगी, ठीक है? पर अगर तो ये नहीं है कि वो नहीं पास कर सकती है, तो फिर अभी मत अप्लाई करें जब तक उनका कंफर्ट लेवल नहीं आ जाता है लैंग्वेज के साथ. और अगर वो ओपन है इस टाइम पे एंड ऑफिसर ने एक और चांस दिया है, विच द ऑफिसर समटाइम्स यूज देयर डिस्क्रेशन टू गिव अ फ्यू मोर चांसेस, देन मेक श्योर दैट शी इज प्रॉपर्ली ट्रेन्ड बिफोर शी गोज फॉर द इंटरव्यू, अदरवाइज दे विल डिनाई इट. सो दैट्स व्हाई
वो लेटर भेज दिए उन लोग.
ओके,
बना करके.
ओके, सो देन
अप्लाई कर सकते क्या?
या शी कैन अप्लाई अगेन.
बहुत टाइम बार नहीं है उसमें कुछ?
नो, देयर इज नो रिस्ट्रिक्शन.
थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Okay, thank you, sir. You have a good day. Good morning. You live on the air. आपका सवाल. Good morning, live on the air. Your question, please.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. My question is for Pallavi. This is related to applying for citizenship.
All right.
After I got the green card, I took the re-entry permit, which is valid until June 2014, the expiry date of the re-entry permit. But I entered into US in July 2013. So when can I possibly start the citizenship process actually?
Okay, so
how long should I wait?
So when you came back in July 2013, did you stay out for over 6 months at that time? You had been outside the country? How long had you been out of that? No, before.
After that, I never stayed back for 6 months, starting from July 2013.
Okay, so you would count up and you would go, so from that time of the last entry, you could count up 5 years, or from the time that your re-entry permit expires, you could go up 4 years. And in that time, you have to find the physical presence as well as the continuous residence.
Okay. And what about this 3 months ahead starting? Actually, is that still valid for this?
Yes.
Can I start 3 months before that, the expiry date, or the actual valid date?
Correct. You're allowed that. 4 year, 9 months.
Sounds good.
Okay.
That's all. Thank Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. You have a good day. Hey, good morning. You're live on the air. Your question, please.
Hi, my name is Manzoor Chaudhary. I have a question. Now, I applied for my wife for the I-70. It's been more than 4 or 5 months, and I don't get any answer. And every time I call there, they said, well, he's on pending, and when he's going to be done, we don't know. So I need some advice from you guys.
Yeah, so it can take about 6 to 8 months. We have seen U.S. citizen spouses that get adjudicated in 4 to 5 months. But see, that is not like a definite time frame. It is also how late the government is running on processing these applications. So as of earlier this year, they were running at the 4 and 5 month mark, but they may have just moved that to the 5-6 months or even 7 months, which is entitled to them. It's just a processing delay. There is nothing more that you can do. You just have to await the processing. Now, one thing to be aware of, you do have a receipt notice, so you have to just track your if there is any request for evidence that comes from the government, right? And if there is a request for evidence, that has to be promptly attended to. Otherwise, it's just a processing delay. You just have to wait for it. The only thing that any attorney filing, and you've already done your filing, so you would not need me for right now, but this is generally speaking, only thing that an attorney filing can do is that they can ensure that all the documents that are currently expected out of the government, and they can watch out for the trends in terms of the request of evidence that the government issues. So you have to just make sure that all those documents were attended to. If there was the marriage certificate or the proof of bona fides, those were attached. The G325A forms were filled. The 2 passport size pictures for your spouse as well as for yourself were enclosed, and the filing fees were accurate, and you filled your forms accurately, then you should be okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. You have a good day. Hey, good morning. You're live on the air. Your question, please.
Yeah, I am actually on H-1B, and the company has filed for my amendment when I moved from Los Angeles to Plano. Basically, my wife wants to travel to India. The H-1B extension for my case was already approved, but I don't have the amendment approval yet. So I wanted to know, can she travel to India and get her stamping done? And I'll go after the amendment is approved.
Yeah, so she can leave, and obviously when you go for stamping, you're both going to go together. Now, do be aware that India is running quite behind on their stamping dates. So, and that's pretty much across the board. They are backlogged, and it was an announcement that the Department of State has also made. So just be aware when you leave that you may not be able to re-enter the country for a little while if you don't have a visa stamp on your passport. All right. So, but besides that, yes, I mean, if there is an application that is pending and it gets approved later on and gives you a different location, and you both are going stamping, your wife can go ahead and leave first, and then you both can enter later on the stamping.
No, but my question was more on the lines that the amendment notice is not approved, and if I don't go to India, can my wife alone go for the stamping even if the amendment is not approved?
So there is a particular H-1B 797 that you still have that shows the approval, correct?
Correct.
Yes, so based on that, she's on an H-4. Okay. Now
Correct.
Yeah, so the government can look into the system and see that there is another thing that is pending still. So I would say that to clear the air and to make sure that there are no issues at stamping, I would make sure that there is this amendment approval also that is in place, because a lot of times the government may use the H-4 to be able to audit you. So they can 221G her application to be able to get to your location. Okay, so it would be a good idea. However, her departure is not something that she has to wait for. She can leave, but as long as when she goes for stamping, she has that particular approval, that should be fine. If she doesn't have it, it's not that she will not be approved for an H4, but that can cause an issue.
Okay, one last add-on to that is that what is the general average time for amendment approval right now? Because it's already been 5 months for me.
Yes, you have to. So they are running about almost 6 to 8 months behind. So premium processing and that should resolve it. And also Indu tells me I'm running out of time.
Well, I'm sorry, running out of time. If you have any question, you're welcome to call Pallavi after the show. Her office number is 972-361-0606. Thank you, Pallavi, for your time, as always.
Thank you, Indu, and a happy Eid to everybody. Eid Mubarak to everyone, to our community that celebrates.